Good day, friends. Good morning, good afternoon in your part of the world, wherever you are. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. It's a croaky voice this morning. Good, but still, it's not going to stop me from giving you this episode. Welcome to Coffee Break. Indeed, it's a rainy morning to just sit down and have coffee together. So magandang araw sa inyo. I hope that it's okay with you to have this coffee break very early in the morning. Maagang daldalan, maagang usapan, but we're still doing it. Okay? So magandang araw sa inyo. I know the other day I talked about interpersonal communications and election. If you have not catched the first episode, the first part of this episode, please do so. Check it out in our live stream last Tuesday. So, kumusta kayo? Kumusta kayo ngayong umaga? Are you running late? Are you running empty? How's your level of energy? Malat ba kayo tulad ko? But that mission of yours will not stop you from fulfilling what you need to do despite all your setbacks. So, what I would like us to talk about this morning, it's actually um, the continuation of our topic the other day. Kailangan ko na hinaan yung boses ko. You know, the big message that I was asking you to reflect about the other day is that in any family or interpersonal communication, the election issues that's happening right now, the differences of opinion, um, everything, it is just a manifestation not of the issue, but actually the dynamics and the intricacies of the relationship. So if you did not catch that, I would like you to reflect about that. That you think that the real issue in all the disputes, all the differences happening now is the election issues or it's about the relationship itself. So yun yung maganda nating tingnan. So for those of you who are here, why don't you just sit down and relax with a good cup of coffee? Samahan nyo akong magdaldalan, you engage with me. And then Belle here is saying, we have a new time slot. No, it's just a very busy week for me. So I have to do it in the morning. I have commitments that I cannot adjust in the afternoons of Tuesday and Thursday. So instead of not, going live, I'd rather go live in the morning. And some of you can just watch it on replay. And I hope that that's okay with you. Okay, so the challenge here is that did you ever get into an argument or disagreement regarding election matters with family and friends? Either it's face to face or in social media, sininzon ka, tinanggal ka sa chat group, ano pa, um, you were called names, that issue of personal, that election issue naging ginawa ng personal attack towards you. Yan. Nangyari na ba yan sa inyo? Kasi alam ko, maraming nangyayaring ganyan. And that's why this afternoon, what I would like to, this morning, what I really would like you to reflect about is that communication stances. What do you mean by communication stances? Na pag sa relasyon, sa mga taong nasa relasyon, pag nag-usap, meron mga stance, meron mga default communication pattern. So ito yung gusto kong makita nyo and we'll apply it to what's happening now in terms of our relationship this election season. So this communication stances, the author of this is my favorite family therapist in the name of Virginia Satir. So, ikikwento ko sa inyo to and I'm sure you can be able to reflect. Ito ba ako? Ito ba yung asawa ko? Ito ba yung kapatid ko? Ito ba yung tatay ko? I am not going to ask you to be the judge, but I will just ask you to use these tools as your way to improve your communication. I would say that again. I would ask you to use your understanding of the communication stances to be able to use this to grow properly, to deal with them appropriately. Okay, so una, what's the first communication stance that we would like to look into? These communication stances, if I before I proceed, they happen whenever there is stress. Sorry. This happens during stressful events. Stressful ba ngayong elections? Yes, because there's a lot of heightened emotions, issues na hindi nabubuhay, political stand na kinikimkim mo but you would like to convert people, we would like them to debunk fake news, we would like them to really think. So I believe that is really it's difficult situation because one, there's that essence of differences. The next is that there's time element. And third, alam natin na kaya natin pinaglalaban tong mga bagay na to. If you are very passionate about your political candidate, either in the national or local election, kaya natin pinaglalaban to. Ako to ha, kaya natin ako pinaglalaban ko yung kandidato ko because pinaglalaban ko yung future ng mga anak ko. Pinaglalaban ko yung maganda kong kinabukasan. Pinaglalaban ko, I'm making a stand because of the tax that I'm paying to give credit to myself and because I support good governance, because I support integrity, because I support those who are actually so sincere in supporting families like you and me. So, I know as a professional, an individual, as a Catholic, I know that I believe in the character, I believe in the integrity, and I believe also that that is the sincerity, that lack of selfish intent, just like Jesus. But I'm not going to sermon us about election. What I'm saying here is that we are coming from something that I said. We are coming from that place that, hey, I would like this to happen. I would like us to do this. But unfortunately, sadly, not all of us have that same thing. So let's look at the communication stances. I'm going to share with you 5 communication stances. The first one, let me know if this is familiar for you. The first one is the blamer. So the communication stances, the first one is the blamer. Who is the blamer? Sino si blamer? Yung pag kinausap mo, ibe-blame ka kasi ikaw pa yung mali. Have you encountered that? Have you encountered that in any this communication? The blamer in the outside, pag nakita mo siya, pag nakausap mo siya, is very critical. He complains about everything. He complains about the policies. He complains how come the government is not doing this. He is that person who finds fault in almost everything. Parang gusto natin sabihin si kay blamer na parang reklamo na ka ng reklamo, ikaw ba may ginawa ka? May ginawa ka ba? Reklamo ka ng reklamo pero ang iboboto mo yung parang irereklamo mo pa rin. So, I would like you to reflect, do you have people around you that's who is the blamer? They're fault finder. Actually, in reality, they are controlling. They are also sub they are also their tendency also is to go into generalization. What I mean is, lahat naman ng politiko corrupt. Everybody, wala naman silang ginawang mabuti. Lahat yan, puro yan ganyan, puro yan, ito yung kulay niyan. So, look at it that way. These people, the blamer, that's who he is in the outside, critical, complaining, fault finding, controlling. But who is he or she in the inside? Inside, the persons who come out as the blamer, they blame because they are unhappy, they are lonely, they are unlovable. Napakalungkot naman. Unlovable. Parang, ah, di ba mahirap mahalin yung mga ganito? Let me know, friends. Mahirap mahalin si blamer. Tama, mali. Parang gusto mo siyang mahalin, gusto mong maging radikal na magmahal ka sa kanya, pero Lord, ang hirap. They resort to anger. They resort to attacks. Sila yung mahiling mag-attack. They tend to manipulate and they blame everyone, but they are unable to express their needs and longings. Kaya pag tinanong mo, bakit mo ginagawa yan? Hindi nila masagot. Honestly, it just might be because they don't know who they are. They don't know, their sense of self-worth is really, really low. Hindi nila kayang pahalagan ng sarili ko. So, instead of looking inward, they blame everything to other people. So, do you know of anyone who is the blamer? Meron ba kayong kilalang ganito? Okay. Next, si placator. Placate. Ano ba yung placator? Sino si placator? Outside, this placator is the people pleaser. Siya yung, she's so nice. But honestly, siya yung parang lahat na lang nagsorry, kasalanan ng iba gusto niya mag-sorry. Medyo pa martyr effect. She's like the martyr na parang sige na ako na may kasalanan kasi hindi ko nagawa. Parang, girl, hindi mo naman kasalanan yan. Parang hindi mo naman dapat gawin, but parang pinagkisisihan mo. And also, they tend to be timid. They tend to be pushed over. They are too nice to the point that they say yes to all but they don't say no. Friends, I know we know of people like this na medyo gusto natin siyang yung nakakaawa pero nakakainis. Kasi parang ang bait naman niya pero bakit parang sometimes mm, medyo masyado na siyang mabait. Medyo TANGA na siya. I know you know what I mean, right? So, these people outside, they please us. Ang hirap din nilang kausapin. Kasi wala kang logic na makukuha. They will just please you. So, I think these are the people na madaling masway kasi para na lang walang away. To have peace at all costs, they will just say yes. Parang, bakit maboboto yan? Bakit yan? May paninindigan ka naman. Eh kasi nakakahiya kasi pinsan ng pinsan ko. Yan. Eh kasi dati nakakakuha kami ng suporta dun sa opisina niya. Ayan. So, yan. They're pushovers. Sila yung madaling hinga ng oo. So, inside, just like the blamer, si blamer, the blamer and the placator are actually very opposites. But look at it that way. The placator, inside, she is also like the blamer. They have low self-esteem. They feel unhappy or worthless pag nakasakit, but actually, they want peace at any price. Ayaw nila ng confrontations. Ayaw nila ng may magagalit sa kanila. Yan. So, yun yun. They want peace at any price. Kahit na toxic. I have to say that. Even though it's toxic, the placator would always want to have peace at any price. Kaya sila tong, some of our parents, some of our titas are like that. Para wala nilang away, umuo ka na lang. Wag mo nilang pansinin. But honestly, that's toxic. If there's someone in the family who's always blaming, and someone in the family who's always placating, si blaming, lalakas lalo yung power niya kasi si placator, sinusuportahan siya. Get it? And tayo parang, wow, dahil maingay siya, dahil mayabang siya, dahil nagmumura yung isa, so ikaw, oo ka na lang ng oo para wag kaming maapektuhan, but not really healthy, right? So I think either in the family, in the society, in the government, makikita niyo yan. May mga ganyan. So this placator, so tingnan mo, pamaratir lang ba siya? Kasi kunyari ayaw ng gulo because they want to please everyone. They want peace at any price. But deep inside, they really don't know who they are because they just would like what others are having para lang peace. So they would actually cling to people who are making them feel good about themselves. They feel good about the approval of other people. Tandaan yan. So that's the placator. Number 3, I think these are the people who's quite hard to actually engage with. I'll just capture this. Belle, you're saying, as for me, when friends ask, let's say we're having dinner, I try to avoid para iwas conflict and discussion. Nako, are you the ano ba? Para iwas conflict? Well, for now, yes, we are choosing our battles. Francis, Agree, Tita Itzel. That's why I can't help but be passionately involved in this election. Agree with you. Probably the reason bakit napipigil din ako sa mga beliefs ng iba. Because if this election goes bonkers, damay-damay tayong Pinoy. Tama. Hope everyone consider voting as a selfless act. Yes, hindi lang yung pansarili. Alam mo, napansin ko, marami kasing bumoboto dahil sa pansarili nilang intensyon. May negosyong kakabit yung pamilya nila, meron silang favors na nakuha. And that's actually what the good governance is fighting about. Tigilan na natin yun because the cycle will just continue. But let me know, isn't it that it's so hard to deal with the third people kasi ito yung mga super reasonable. Sino si super reasonable? The third communication stance is the super reasonable. So the first one is the blamer, the second is the placator, the third, the super reasonable. Outside, sa labas, pag tiningnan mo, si super reasonable is so cool, calm, collected, composed, and they're very careful with words. They're often using uncommon language. Minsan parang highfalutin na siya. But they expect people to be efficient and to conform to rules. Sumunod kayo kasi ganun talaga. Diba? So, dapat ganito ka. So, they're very reasonable. They're very logical, but sometimes to the point of being illogical. There's a lot of knowledge, but not actually wisdom. So, that's how I put it. Inside, people of a super reasonable. I know a lot of people super reasonable, super galing. Super galing here, but here hindi nila ma-download lahat ng alam nila. So, who are the super reasonable people? Inside these super reasonable people, they may seem very logical, but you know that they're very disconnected from their feelings. They also quote facts, statistics, and authorities and traditions. Hindi ba nakasanayan na natin Pilipino, ganito, sa pamilya natin kasi itong sinusuportahan natin, kasi kaibigan yan ng lolo mo, hanggang sa inyo dapat ang pamilya natin, ito lang. They're also, they statistics, maganda yung buhay dati, nung martial law, ganito yung buhay. So, ito yung nararanasan namin, ganito lang yung pagkain. Yung nakakainis na kasi, yung kinikwento nila, they may be true to their context, but they're not actually what is applicable to all. They hate admitting mistakes. That's why they make themselves very logical. They do not really, they say na nakakaawa, pero ang nakakaawa lang nila ay sa salita. Hindi nila talaga dina-download. So, they quote facts, statistics, because they hate admitting their mistakes. They keep citing references, other people, authorities. Sabi ni father, sabi ni ganyan, o di ba sabi nga ni ganyan. But they don't want to admit na nagkamali sila. Friends, parang ang dami nating kilalang ganito, di ba? Yung alam mo ng baloktot yung kandidato mo, pinaglalaban at pinagtatanggol mo pa rin. Yun because they're so reasonable. I think the internet, social media, is full of this. Because the only way I believe that you will allow yourself to be used for this information if you are the super illogical. Because inside you, okay lang na walang pakiramdam. Hindi ko kasalanan yan. Sinabi lang sa akin kung anong lalagay. Diba? Because inside, they are uncomfortable with their emotions. So, kahit pag sinabi natin, walang awa tong mga taong to, yes. Parang hindi nila nararamdaman yung nararamdaman ng iba. Yes, hindi talaga nila nararamdaman. So, they long to be right and they are actually insensitive. Pag tinignan natin, wala silang pakialam. Actually, yes, because everything is here. That is so sad. So the fourth one, the distractor. May kilala kayong distractor? They're talkative. Outside, you see them talkative, unfocused, often frantic and active. They're erratic, purposeless, and out of touch with reality. Yung parang may seryosong discussions dadaanin sa biro. Seryosong discussion, parang i-belittle nila, i-put down nila yung kinikwento natin. Inside, these people don't admit problem. They use humor. But humor, try to think about it, humor is healthy if it's laughter with and laughter at. rather than laughter at hindi mo pinagtatawanan ng isang tao. But if it's laughter with tayong dalawa, nagkamali tayo, halika pagtawanan natin yung sarili natin. And then tawa tayo because we need that today. But it becomes toxic, it becomes unhealthy kung hindi pinag-uusapan at kino-confront yung issue, leaning towards toxic positivity, but people who use a lot of humor but don't really confront the real issues. And that is the distractor. Inside, distractors are people with high frightened people, the, the distractor inside them, they're frightened, distrustful, they're worried. Confronting problems is actually painful. Hindi nila kaya. They will just dismiss us. Parang, I'm sorry, I have to use this in Tagalog. Wala kang mahita pagkausap mo sila. But they cannot pin, that's why you cannot pin them down. Yung parang, kinausap mo na ba? Oo. Anong sabi? Wala, tumawa lang. This is the distractor. So I don't know if you know people like this. And the fifth one, this is what I hope who will be, and that is the leveler. So the first one, it's the blamer. Second, placator. The third, si super reasonable. Fourth, the distractor. Fifth, the leveler. The leveler, she or he is the one who can be leveled off. Diba? Whenever we would like to seek out someone, I want to level off with you first. Nag-level off ba kayo? Did you align? That's the leveler. So who is the leveler? The leveler can express themselves without blaming, without placating, without distracting, and without being too reasonable. The leveler, what they feel, say, and do are in sync. Ay, ang ganda nito. Kung anong nakikita nyo, siya rin yung naririnig nyo, siya rin yung nararamdaman nyo. Kung ano yung iniisip ng taong ito, the maturity of their thoughts is downloaded to their emotions, and their emotions is put into action. That is being in sync in mind, body, spirit. Yun yung integrated person. Yun yung mature person. Yun yung person with a healthy sense of self-worth. Maybe not perfect, maybe not buong buo, meron din siyang hinanakit, pero dahil may hinanakit siya, hindi naman niya i-fake yung hinanakit niya. Kung ano talaga yung naiisip niya, siya rin yung ginagawa niya. Nakaramdam na ba kayo ng mga taong ganito? So, try to seek out the leveler. If you are not the leveler, try to move into becoming the leveler. The leveler responds with integrity. When I say integrity here, it's not integrity na may, oy, may dating, may yabang. No, the integrity I am saying is the integration, the oneness, the wholeness of the thoughts, feelings, and action. In sync yan. Friends, hindi naghihiwa-hiwalay yung thoughts, feelings, and action. Hindi pwedeng walang emosyon, hindi pwedeng puro utak, hindi lang pwedeng puro emosyon lang, at hindi pwedeng action agad. Pag nakita natin sa isang leader, sa isang tao, sa isang kasama natin sa bahay, katuwang natin sa buhay, ang totoong integration, yung sinseridad na nararamdaman kahit malayo, kahit sa picture, the sincerity is speaking, that is really a person walking the life of a leveler. They respond with integrity, they unify their thoughts and behavior. So ito yung mga hindi balik harap, kung anong sabihin nila, ito na yun. They're very honest and they're heartfelt and straightforward. Have you felt, I'll be honest with you, um, it's very rare to find people like this. But for me, this is something that I look for in people in high positions. This is something what I'm looking for in a president. The leveler. Bakit? Kasi kailangan niyang maramdaman yung nararamdaman kahit sa ating mga other officials. Sila yung kailangan nating maramdaman na totoo. But honestly, we have to work on being the leveler to be able to manage the blamer, the placator, and the super reasonable. And the distractor, kasi sila yung kausap natin. In family, in relationships, whenever we're going to have communication issues, it's because one or two in the family might have these communication stances. Ang pinakamahirap, friends, is i-deal with si blamer, si placator, si super reasonable at distractor. Masarap makipag-usap sa leveler. Kaya nga nagle-level off. But if you are dealing with the first four, you have to learn to level with them. Because whenever there's communication, it is likely that there are tension. Whenever there's election, for sure, there's a lot of tension. So how do we go about this? Si blamer, they would always blame. But I am not for just quieting down. Hindi ako yung pabayaan mo na. The blamer would continue to blame if you do not assert yourself. So friends, assertive is different from aggressive. So anong solusyon kay blamer? Assert, not aggress. Be assertive and tell them, maybe I am just sharing this with you. You don't need to attack me. I am not accepting these personal attacks dahil I'm not doing anything to attack you. That's assertiveness. Putting people on their spot, putting people in their place, not allowing them, kung meron silang sinabing hindi maganda, it's telling them this is really offending and I am not accepting what you said. For me, that's assertiveness. The next one, the placator. So kung si blamer, you have to be more assertive to them. Si blamer, you have to show genuine concern. These people who are the placator actually operates out of fear. Fear of losing the attention, fear of losing approval. So you have to show them genuine concern. Wag takot. You have to make them say, I'm really concerned about you. I'm really concerned about what you're posting. Because really, they're fake news. So you really have to check where they're coming from. Are they operating out of fear? Are they operating out of approval? So seek to show them genuine concern. The fourth, the super reasonable. The super reasonable, remember, they are the people na parang logic lang lahat, walang emosyon. You have to give them a new perspective. You have to challenge their head. Since you cannot penetrate their heart, you have to challenge their head. What if we look at it this way? What if the tables have turned and this is the situation? What if you look at it from the perspective of a mother? Look at the perspective of a mother. Tingnan mo yung kandidato mo. So there, appeal to logic. Appeal to break their rigidity. Pag sinabi nila, kasi nga, yun talaga. Yes, yun talaga. Pero di ba minsan, pwede naman tingnan sa ibang anggulo. Hindi lang laging bird's eye view. Sometimes we need to have the worm's eye view to look at it from the ground up rather from the men's perspective or the bird's perspective. So that's super reasonable. You have to appeal to their head. You have to challenge their perspective. And the last, the distractor. The distractor, it's actually, you have to honor their difficulties. Tingnan mo yung hugot yan kasi meron. Kaya yan nagdi-distract, ayaw magseryoso. Marami yung isyong tinatabunan, kaya ayaw niyang i-confront. You have to honor their difficulties. You have to drop evasiveness. You have to challenge them. Pwede bang isantabi muna natin yung mga jokes at hirit mo? Kasi seryoso to. Kailangan natin pag-usapan to. Wag na lang puro meme, wag na lang puro joke, wag na lang puro parang mga hindi serious na bagay. You have to challenge them to stop distracting by dealing with the real issues. Friends, mahirap tong panahon na to. It's really challenging. But coming from the line, radikal ang magmahal. Gusto kong gawin yun. Because if there is actually challenges in your interpersonal communication this election, isipin na lang natin that you have to get to the good side of the people that you would like to deal with better. Kasi minsan, I don't want to deal better with them. So, okay na siya. Pero doon sa mga nakapaligid sa atin, sa pamilya natin, kahit na magkakahiwalay, magkakaiba yung opinion, I would like to quote from Virginia Satir also, the one who explained all these five. She said, "We come together in the basis of our similarities, but we grow from the basis of our strength. From the basis of our differences." I'll repeat that kung naririnig nyo sa aking malat na boses. We come together on the basis of our similarities, but we grow together on the basis of our differences. Totoo yan. So, when all else fail, let's pray for them. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's protect ourselves. Let's love radically and know that we can actually create respect with love, because alam ko at the end of the day, we would just like to have genuine concern for our country, genuine concern for our families, and genuine concern for the people around us. I hope that this has helped you. These are not steps, but these are actually guidelines and points to reflect about as you deal with your families. And I hope that this helped you create better relationship amidst this very tense situation, these elections. So, magandang araw mga kaibigan. I hope that coffee break is really something that you look forward to. Share this to family and friends. I hope to join you can join me again in the coming weeks to have more conversation about family life, well-being, and faith. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. This is Dr. Michelle Alignay for Coffee Break.